Welcome one, welcome all, and welcome to a Tuesday Tear Up. This week it's back to your favourite member of Unleash The Ghouls, me, Stuart, and this week I'm tearing up one of my all-time favourite urban legends, Bloody Mary. Before I jump in, if you're liking this or any other content we produce, please do consider subscribing so you can stay up to date with everything we release. Plus, I've told the boys if you don't, we're going to have to pay for a Russian spy to track you down via your IP addresses, and we're not quite making enough of that sweet ad revenue from the channel yet, so one of us is going to have to cough up personally just to come and smash your face in, and none of us want to do that. Anyway, back to the good stuff. Perhaps one of the most famous modern myths, this tale suggests if you look into a mirror and say Bloody Mary a bunch of times in a row, something will happen. What exactly happens though is what the legend disagrees on. Now historically the ritual encouraged young women to walk up a flight of stairs backward, holding a candle and a hand mirror in a darkened house. As they gazed into the mirror they were supposedly able to catch a view of their future husband's face. Unfortunately there was also a chance you would see a skull or the face of the Grim Reaper instead, indicating that the women were going to die before they would have a chance to marry someone. The ritual of today, however, has evolved into something way more gory and involves invoking a witch called, you guessed it, Bloody Mary. Mary allegedly appears to individuals or groups by repeatedly chanting her name into a mirror placed in a dimly lit or candle-lit room. The name must be repeated at least 3 times, which means I'm fucked because I've said it at least 3 times in this episode. And then the apparition allegedly appears as a corpse, a witch or a ghost that's sometimes seen covered in blood. The law surrounding the ritual states that participants may endure the apparition screaming at them, cursing at them, strangling them, stealing their soul, drinking their blood, or maybe a little bit nicer, scratching their eyes out. In some regions, Bloody Mary is known by the name Mary Worth, who is commonly believed to be a witch who was burned for practicing magic. Other iterations believe she's a young woman who died in a car accident. Whatever the name or story, the process remains the same. Irrespective of the region or era, someone walks into a room with a mirror, utters the phrase until the image appears behind them. In concept, the whole summoning ritual of Bloody Mary should result in nothing of significance occurring, but if the story is true, then it essentially proves witchcraft, ghosts, and an afterlife exist. Because of this, in 2014, Italian researchers explored the science and psychology behind Bloody Mary, ultimately adding a bit of credibility to the legend. Giovanni Caputo and his colleagues of the University of Urbino found that there is actually something happened that could be responsible for this urban legend. In the article written by Giovanni, The Visual Perception During Mirror Gazing at One's Own Face in Patients with Depression, nice name, researchers found that staring into a mirror in low light does actually result in seeing apparitions and distorted faces. According to these findings within neuroscience, humans have a fascination with faces, being capable of finding a face within food, machinery or household appliances. It therefore makes sense that when faced with little to no stimulation, the brain attempts to find a face within a dimly lit mirror. So there is actually science behind Bloody Mary, which is not what many expect, and that's what kind of makes the allure here even stronger. If you go into a dark room, look in the mirror and say Bloody Mary 3 times before legging it out shit scared, nothing's going to happen. But according to this research, if you stare into a mirror in a dimly lit room for a prolonged period of time, it could cause you to hallucinate and see someone there. Facial features may appear to start melting, distort, disappear, rotate, while others may hallucinate and see animals or strange faces appearing, and this is caused by the brain's facial recognition system misfiring in a currently unidentified way. It's possible this is a form of self-hypnosis, but despite the research, the concept of mirrors as portals between this world and the realm of the spirits shows up in a lot of other beliefs, namely those surrounding funerals. In the days before funeral homes, corpses were washed by the deceased's relatives, dressed in their funeral finery and laid out in coffins in the front parlour. It was common practice to cover mirrors in the house where death had occurred until the body was taken for burial. Consequently, the dead would be in the house for days, and it was believed if the dear departed caught a glimpse of himself in a mirror, his ghost would remain in the house because the mirror would trap his spirit. So maybe whilst your brain is just trying to figure out faces in the darkness, you could really be seeing someone who died in your home many years ago, or maybe, just maybe, you're seeing Mary Worth or Bloody Mary, who's about to do something a little bit more sinister to you. What do you lot reckon? A murderous witch using mirrors as portals between dimensions, or just your brain being a bit of a knob when it's dark? Let me know in the comments below, and until next time, Ghoul Gang, I'm Stuart from Unleash The Ghouls, and as ever, thanks for listening.